For millennia, the Western Abenaki people have called this land home. They have loved and cared for this land. We now have the privilege of gathering here as a religious community. Let us do so honoring this legacy of love and stewardship. Good morning, everyone. I'm the Reverend Joan Javier Duval, and I extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you. Thank you for joining in this time of worship at the Unitarian Church of Montpelier. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation that was founded almost exactly 160 years ago on December 13th, 1864. Our founders sought to create an independent religious society free of dogma and obedient only to the Christian law of love. Our theology has broadened over 160 years, but we remain a community of welcome, affirming the worth and dignity of every person and the interdependence we share with all existence. We are so glad that you are with us in this time of worship this morning as we engage in an annual tradition, the No Rehearsal Christmas Pageant. Today, we worship together as a whole church community with people of all ages welcome and encouraged to participate throughout the entire service. It is always a pleasure to have newcomers and guests join us on Sunday morning. And if this is your first or second time visiting, or maybe your first or second time in a long time, you're invited to stand or to wave your hand so we can offer you a special welcome. Welcome. We're so glad that you're here. Anyone who is a newcomer to our congregation and our worship service is invited to fill out our welcome form, which is available at the hospitality table downstairs in the vestry, and to stay for coffee hour so that we can connect with you more fully. And now we can all join in the welcoming by taking a few moments to turn to your neighbor in the pews and offer a word of greeting. Thanks for sharing these warm greetings, everyone. And let's continue the conversations with one another after the service during coffee hour. Please know that we have hearing assist devices available on the table at the rear of the sanctuary. There are also fidget bags beneath the table available to anyone of any age, and especially our younger members of the congregation. You can also listen to and watch the service in the fireplace room downstairs if you should need to leave the sanctuary for any reason. And each Sunday after the service, we have a member of our lay pastoral care team available in the sanctuary to offer a listening ear for anything you might be going through. And today, our lay pastoral caregiver is Mary Jane Olson. Thank you, Mary Jane. There are many ways to take part in the life of our community, and here are just a few. Later today, all of you are invited to the 51st Montpelier Community Carol Sing at 4:30 p.m., hosted right here in our sanctuary. There's no cost for the event, and donations will benefit Good Samaritan Haven. Next Sunday, December 22nd, I will host an informational meeting about starting an LGBTQ+ solidarity group here at UCM. If this is an area of interest and concern for you, I invite you to come to that meeting. And our Sunday morning hospitality team is in need of additional ushers and lift operators. This is a great way to volunteer on an occasional basis here at the church. Please contact Peter Toms for more information. And to learn about so many other ways that you can get involved here at UCM, please consult the weekly e-news, as well as the recently published winter newsletter. And I invite us now to take a breath, allow yourself to settle in, make sure your cell phones are silenced, and let us enter more deeply into our time of worship with the prelude. These opening words are adapted from Sophia Lyon-Faz. For so the children come, and so they have been coming, always in the same way they come, born of the seed of humanity.
No angels herald their beginnings, no prophets predict their future courses. No wise men see a star to show where to find the babe that will save humankind.
Yet each night a child is born is a holy night. Parents everywhere, sitting beside their children's cribs, feel glory in the sight of a new life beginning.
Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping. And now join us in singing our opening hymn, Go Tell It to the Mountain.
Please rise and body your spirit.
Jesus Christ is Lord.
This morning, we welcome Hillary, Tilly, and Louise to light the chalice. We light this flame, an enduring symbol of our collective commitment to lead with truth and compassion. And on this third Sunday of Advent, a season of waiting and preparing, we light 3 candles on the Advent wreath. The first to nurture hope, the second to create peace, and the third to welcome joy. May hope, peace, and joy be with us as we begin our time of worship.
Good morning. Welcome. Today is our No Rehearsal Christmas Pageant, and this is exciting. I see everybody dressed up, and let's dive in and have some fun. So, this is a home for spiritual community, a home for the human heart in search of hope and faith, peace and justice, love and freedom. It is a home for prayer and song and stories. One of the most treasured stories in our church's tradition tells about an experience both universal and profoundly precious, the birth of a child. We call this the Christmas story. The version we will tell today comes from the Gospels attributed to Luke and Matthew, found in the Christian Bible. As the narrator, I will help direct the actors. It's easy to join in the story because you don't have to memorize or even speak any lines. Some of you have come already dressed as the character you would like to play. Others of you are learning of this pageant for the first time right now, and this is a chance to be spontaneous. Our hope is that anyone who wishes to participate will feel welcome. This is not just for children, adults, and teenagers. We hope you jump in and join in the fun too. The main roles today are angels, shepherds, and magi, or the wise men. Tradition says that there are only 3 wise men, but we all know that there are plenty of other wise people in the world too. In fact, none of our roles in this pageant are age or gender specific. Anyone can be an angel, anyone can be a shepherd, anything goes. Which brings us to the costumes. Nothing elaborate is needed. And we do have a few supplies in the back to add a little flourish if what you are wearing you feel like you need to add a little more, if you would like to add a little something to kind of to make sure that everybody has a little something to feel dressed up and part of the fun. But don't stress over the costumes, because the important thing is just to have fun and be a part of this retelling of this special story. So in a moment, if you're thinking you'd like to either be a shepherd, an angel, or a magi, you'll have time to quietly cluster in the back of the sanctuary. Before you stand up, look to the back now. To help guide you, you will look for a youth leader for your group that you're in. Atticus and Case are the leaders of the shepherds. Can you raise your hand? And I'm sorry, it's Atticus is the leader of the shepherds. And then Abigail is the lead angel. Wonderful. And then Rocco and Case are the leaders of the magi in the back there. Great. So those of you who are interested in playing a role may now quietly join your youth leader in the back and grab a little something extra if needed.
Otherwise, you're good. Okay, thanks.
All right, wonderful. Once you have a little flourish for your costume, make way to your group over. So we have the shepherds back here, the angels in the center, and the magi on the other side. Great. All right, and we'll get ready to begin. All right, here we go. This is a story that takes place a long, long time ago during the time of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire, which was like an extremely large kingdom, stretched across 3 continents: Europe, Asia, and Africa. Caesar Augustus was the emperor of Rome, which is much like a very, very powerful king. Under his rule, and for many generations before, people were oppressed and deeply longed for hope for a better future, peace for their land, and love for all people. But the emperor had other ideas and wanted to count and register all the people under his control. So he ordered a census to be taken throughout all the continents. This meant that everyone had to travel to their own ancestral home to be registered and counted. For many, this meant walking by foot or riding a donkey for the whole entire journey. One such person was a carpenter named Joseph, who lived in a part of the empire called Galilee. Joseph had to travel from his home in Nazareth to his ancestral town of Bethlehem, located in the region of Judea, about 90 miles away. Today, we know this part of the world as both Israel and Palestine, a place currently in turmoil that many of us are holding in our hearts. And Joseph was not traveling alone. And he was with a woman named Mary, who he was committed to marrying. They knew it would not be easy because Mary was pregnant, and she would be very uncomfortable both walking and riding their donkey. But there was nothing that could be done because the census was an official order, and they had to go. Together, they started on their long journey, and it was hilly country as they went through the Judean mountains. They traveled many days and even through the nights with only the light of the stars to guide them. So this is where we could use some night stars in our story. Here's a part for everyone, included those of you who are seated in the pews, and those of you at home who are watching us on Zoom. Could you raise your arms and wiggle your fingers? Oh, yes, you're all twinkling and shining. Thank you. So you're going to listen carefully for the word stars, because your part will come again. All right? So pay attention. They traveled many days and many nights under the twinkling stars. Nice. You're good. Very good. And suddenly, oh, I'm sorry. This is my first time doing this, if you can't tell. So I'm sorry, travel. And then, so now let us rise in body and spirit and sing the first 2 verses of the first Noel, projected on the wall. So Mary and Joseph had finally arrived in Bethlehem, and the time came for Mary to have her baby. They knocked on the door of an inn looking for a place to stay, but there was no room at the inn. Joseph looked everywhere for where Mary could give birth, but the only place he could find was in a stable alongside the animals. And so Mary gave birth right there in the stable, and just as an angel had instructed Joseph in one of his dreams, they named the baby Jesus. Mary wrapped the baby tightly in a blanket, and they used a manger, the wooden trough where animals ate their hay, as his cradle. Anything goes, yes. Well, on that very special night, there were shepherds camping in the fields nearby as they watched over their flocks of sheep. Now let's have the shepherds come forward in the far-off pasture. Nice. Suddenly, an angel of God appeared before the shepherds. And here comes our angel of God. And God's glory blazed around the shepherds with radiant, awe-inspiring light. Can we shower them in some light? Yes. Well, it's no surprise that the shepherds were terrified. But the angel said, "Don't be afraid. I bring you good tidings of great joy for all the people. A baby has just been born in Bethlehem and will become our teacher and help people throughout the world. To find this special one, this is what you need to look for: a baby wrapped in blankets lying in the manger." At once, the angel was joined by a huge angelic choir. Now we need some more angels. Wow. It was a multitude of the heavenly host praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace and goodwill." Then the angels withdrew back into heaven, and the shepherds talked over what they had seen. So angels, if you want to come sit on the top steps. They said, the shepherds, "Let's go to Bethlehem as fast as we can and see for ourselves what God has revealed to us." So they headed to Bethlehem. And there they found Mary, Joseph, and baby in the stable. The shepherds knelt around the baby lying in the manger, glorifying and praising God for everything they had heard and seen, as it was told to them. When the shepherds returned home, they told everyone they met what the angel of God had said about this baby. All who heard the shepherds were amazed as well. Now, this is the perfect time for some wise people. After Jesus was born, a band of wise magi who studied the stars had been traveling from the east for many, many miles. Nice, thank you. And they arrived in the nearby city of Jerusalem. And when they arrived, they began to ask the people they encountered, "Where can we find the King of the Jews? For a very long time, we have been observing all the stars in the night sky." You guys are good. They said, "And though all the stars are quite lovely, We have discovered an extraordinary star rising in the eastern sky that has signaled his birth. We're on a pilgrimage, a sacred journey to pay him homage and worship him. Well, that evening, just as the stars came out into the night sky, the extraordinary star appeared again. Nice job. Ooh, ooh. It was the same star they had seen in the eastern skies. Yes, you're good. And when they saw the extraordinary star, they were overjoyed. They were in the right place at the right time. And so the extraordinary star led the Magi until it hovered right over the place where baby Jesus was born and where they would find him in Bethlehem. All right, let's rise in body and spirit, and we'll sing the final two verses of the first Noel. Then the Magi saw the child in the arms of Mary. While they had been expecting someone of great significance and importance, they knelt in silence to honor this little baby that they had found. Then they opened their bags and presented gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Let us pause for a moment. Beautiful. To look at this scene. It is a special night with stars and angels and shepherds and wise people, and they are all admiring a baby who has just been born. The people came for many reasons, searching for many things, out of curiosity, looking for someone grand, a great king, a strong warrior, a talented politician, someone to save them. But what they found was simply a baby. By all outward appearances, he was just an ordinary little being, but he was God's most precious gift and a promise that what the people had been searching for and so desperately wanted, unwavering hope, lasting peace, and infinite love, was their birthright. This baby would grow up to show them how to live every day by these values and tell them the kingdom of God is within you. This beautiful story has been told year after year and generation after generation for millennia because it reminds us of this essential truth. that hope and peace and love are our birthrights too. They are always inside of us, waiting to be birthed and shared throughout the world. Amen. Actors, in just a moment, those watching us will make the starry night, or those who are watching will make the starry night one last time. That will be your sign to bow and then quietly and calmly walk back to where you are sitting. Keep any borrowed items for now, and then please return them at the back after the service. And now, let's thank these wonderful actors who did an incredible job by filling the sanctuary with starlight.
Thanks to everyone for bringing to life that ancient story and for showing so much support to one another in our community. In the spirit of supporting our community, I also want to share that Ruth Whitty, a member of our lay pastoral care team, will be available in the fireplace room after the service to chat with anyone who might want to have some support around making it through the holidays and any challenges you are facing. Our giving is a spiritual act, and our generosity is a form of love and gratitude that help us to practice the values of Unitarian Universalism with our collective resources. Each month through our community pouch program, we share part of our collection with an important community organization aligned with our values. And this month, our community pouch recipient is Youth First Mentoring, which helps build powerful long-term relationships between mentors and youth that allow young people to build confidence and resilience and prepare for their futures as members of our community. Half of our cash offerings will go to our pouch recipient. The other half will directly support the mission and ministry of this congregation. You can find the offering pouches at the end of the pews on the side aisles. Please pass those toward the center aisle, and you can also make your donation online. And we are grateful to each and every one of you for your generosity in its many forms. Your offering will now be gratefully received.
When I was just a wee little girl, full of health and joy, my daddy came one Christmas day and gave to me a toy. A wonder to behold it was, with many colors bright, and the moment I laid eyes on it, it became my heart's delight. It went zip when it moved, and pop when it stopped, and whir when it stood still. I never knew just what it was, and I guess I never will. The first time that I picked it up, I had a big surprise, 'cause right on the bottom were two big buttons that looked like big green eyes. It started and I twisted it, slid, set it down again, and when I set it down again, here is what it did. Sing. It went zip when it moved, and pop when it stopped, and whir when it stood still. I never knew just what it was, and I guess I never will. It first marched and and then marched right, and then marched under a chair. And when I looked where it had gone, it wasn't even there. I started to cry, but my daddy laughed 'cause he knew what I would find. When I turned around, that marvelous toy was chugga right behind. It went zip when it moved, and pop when it stopped, and whirr when it stood still. I never knew just what it was, and I guess I never will. The years have gone by too quickly, it seems. I have my own girl and boy, and yesterday I gave to them my marvelous little toy. Their eyes nearly popped right out of their heads, and they gave a squeal of glee. Neither one of them knows just what it is, but they love it just like me. It went zip when it moved, and pop when it stopped, and whirr when it stood still. I never knew just what it was, and I guess I never will.
Every year, we bring to life the ancient story of the birth of Jesus of Nazareth in Bethlehem, a story rooted in the early Christian communities, the story of a young Jewish couple cast out onto the road, uncertain of what lay ahead, a couple living in occupied land without legal status, filled with fear and also with great hope. Mary and Joseph carried the hope, of course, of the safe arrival of their baby, and also the hope of an ushering in of God's love, a love so strong that it could lead them and their people through a time of injustice and oppression to freedom. To find this love required a journey. Mary and Joseph, the shepherds and the Magi, would have to leave, wandering through the dark. They followed the astonishing stars in the night sky with the deep-seated desire that they would eventually find the source of hope, peace, joy, and love for which they were searching, that they were anticipating would enter the world. When the shepherds and the Magi came upon Jesus and Mary and Joseph, they knew that they were beholding something worthy of their wonder and reverence. They weren't anticipating that it would arrive at that time or at that place, and yet when they encounter this embodiment of God's love made flesh, they tremble with awe, they give praise, and they offer gifts. Christmas time is about making room for awe, for surprise, for wonder at the unexpected. Christmas asks us to suspend our disbelief and our cynicism, to embrace the magic and power of a baby whose life, even with its humble beginnings, would transform the world. Within this season is also the invitation to wonder at the truth that every child born, every one of us, has the power to usher in hope, peace, joy, and love. Being open to receiving the wonder and power of this truth isn't always easy. Sometimes we must look outside ourselves for reassurance. Sometimes someone will deliver the message to us loud and clear, like the angel appearing to the shepherds in the field. Or maybe a sign will appear in the heavens, a star brighter than we could ever imagine, illuminating what is good and true. And sometimes we need to look no further than a tiny newborn baby, swaddled tight. A baby, humble yet powerful, can be the source of our awe and reverence and the inspiration to embrace our own inherent potential to share goodwill with all. As we honor and celebrate the Christmas story this season, let us embrace the wonder and the truth that it holds for each of us. The Christmas story that we all participated in earlier is one of the many stories that has been told by humans seeking to discover the divine, the sacred, the holy in their own lives. And today we will honor our individual threads to the sacred, and in doing so, we will create a garland for our Christmas tree.
First, I will share the directions and then let you know when to begin. So at the end of your pew, you will see some large threads of yarn, and you will work with the people in your pew to braid them. So you'll find something that looks like this, and you'll be working together to braid it like this. Working together is the key word there. So all right, but before you begin, let me explain a little bit more, okay? So just hold it in your lap for a moment. I know it's exciting. We'll pause for a second, okay? So as you braid, and if you don't want to braid, that's okay too. You can just hold it in your hands as it comes by you. So you're going to call to mind what inspires you to live a sacred life of hope, peace, joy, love, all the things that we heard about in the Christmas story. And so once you've braided it, braid to the very end, then Reverend Joan and I will come around and we will connect the pieces of the braid so we have one long garland that we've all created together for our Christmas tree, okay? So now you can go ahead and begin.
Oh, there's only two of them in your row. work, everyone, creating this braided garland. The braids have brought together, yes, you should clap for yourselves. This is really good, fine work. Fine crafting this morning. The braids connect our different individual connections to the sacred, woven together into this one garland. And the garland represents all the ways that from that place inside of us that's connected to the sacred, we bring forward into our community hope and peace and joy and love. And the softness of this yarn, it's very soft, isn't it? Reminds us that we are held and nurtured and cared for in this community and on our spiritual journeys. And now Caitlin and I are going to work together to wrap our tree in this garland. Teamwork, here we go. Okay, do you?
Beautiful. Our evergreen Christmas tree is a symbol of that which is everlasting. Today, the lights remind us of the light and the life of Jesus, and the star on top, the pretend star that we're envisioning, reminds us of the extraordinary star in the story. And the soon-to-be gifts under the Christmas tree remind us of the gifts that the Magi brought. And now our garland honors our own personal and community connections to hope and peace and joy and love that Jesus taught. May we find them within ourselves and spread them in the world today and every day.
And let's rise and embody our spirit for our closing hymn, Joy to the World. It's number 245 in the gray hymnal. And as we close our service, we extinguish our chalice and carry with us its flame of truth, the warmth of community, and a spark of hope into the days and the week ahead. And as we do so, let us say together our mission statement. We welcome all as we build a loving community to nurture each person's spiritual journey, serve human need, and protect the earth, our home. May you go into the chill and sparkle of this day with wonder at the beauty and possibility of life, and with gratitude for all that connects us to each other and to the holy. May you go in peace and return again in love. And we conclude our service with the postlude.